Hello, today I want to do a follow-up video for a video I did a year or 2 years ago. I can't remember exactly the date of my playlist and my playlist growth journey. And the reason I set these playlists up are to really to pay for the promotion of my own music. And I was just spending a lot of money and not getting any money back because obviously, even if you promote your own music, you're not going to make money from Spotify. Let's face it, right? You'll make a bit, but not enough to cover your expenses. And I don't even mind making a little loss, but it was just too much of a loss. I think 1 year it was $5,000 I was spending, and I thought, this is not sustainable. I can't keep spending this much money. I kind of fell into this because initially I set up a playlist. You can see here, this playlist was set up maybe in 2021. It was called Slap House Mix. I set up a single playlist, and I did that because I wanted to promote the playlist rather than my song to get better result. Basically, I fell into this because what happened is I decided to put my playlist into Submit Hub, and I noticed that, obviously you can see here, people were submitting just to that playlist. And I was kind of surprised that I was earning any money at all. It was only $1 per submission at that stage. It's gone up to $1.50 now. It was $1 for me, $1 for Submit Hub, $2 for anyone submitting. Now it's $3. Now I get half of that. It was just a bit of money. It was obviously nothing important at that time. But what happened around 2023 is I started another group, which is more of a pop focus group. And I decided to do the same thing. I created a pop playlist called New Pop. It's pretty simple. I created the playlist and I got that playlist eventually up to 1,000 followers, so I could actually submit it to Submit Hub as a curator and to Playlist Push. That playlist got much more submissions. As you can see here, it got a lot more submissions, and it got me thinking, if I can make $200 a month, I should just create some more playlists and promote them, because even though I wasn't making any money, the promotion still cost more than the money I was making from Submit Hub. I thought with growth, it would eventually cover the expenses, and that's exactly what happened. So around this sort of end of 2023, I started creating other playlists, and I'll tell you about them. But as you can see here, the general journey, as you can see here, is going up every month. So the biggest month was August last year, where I got $736. It's still, even looking at that today, that's insane. It's a lot of work to review all that music, and I did have some help, but it's an insane amount of money. You can see here's some decline. Even the December the previous year wasn't that great. Already in January, it's going up. This is the beginning of February, and it's 100. So it's going. So I think it will be very similar February to January in terms of figures. So it is what it is, right? It'll be around between 500 and 600 a month, with some months being less than 500. I'm pretty happy with the way it's going. And then if you have a look at Playlist Push, I'm not sure I can show you who I am on Playlist Push, so I'm just going to be very quick here. You can see here, when I started the first two playlists, over time, because I didn't start in October 2023, this is an accumulation of money. My first payment was 430, and then I accumulated 882 a few months later. And then last year was just crazy. Every month I was just making quite a lot of money. You can see here, that's my biggest month. Then a slight decline once again. So I think what's happened, and I've spoken to other curators about this, I think with Playlist Push, I think its popularity is slowly declining. I could be wrong, but it looks like it might be declining a little bit. So I'm getting definitely less submissions. However, in the last month, I've seen a bit of a spike. I don't know how that's happening. So far my balance for 2025, you can see here, is 1,400. So in 2024, 7,000. 2023 was when it started, to 430. This year is 2025 is already 1,400. And so total earned is, it's blowing my mind, to be honest, is 9,000. That's just amazing amount of money. I do think I make more money on Playlist Push than Submit Hub. And the reason for that is because you get more money per stream that you review. So if you ever look at the reputation score here, it's currently 18,000. It's been fluctuating between 18 and 20. So if you have a look at the way they get marked, if you have a popularity, is it a popularity score? So reputation score. If you have a reputation score of more than 10,000, your fee is $5 per song. If you compare that to Submit Hub, it's $1.50 per song. But I do get some submissions at the $3.75 mark, some at $5. And getting to 25,000 is really difficult. As I said, I'm almost at 20, where you get paid $6.25 per song. How do you get these scores? There's a combination. Basically, you can see here, of your base reputation score and the score of all your playlists combined. So the reputation score, you get points for helping artists get discovered or top placement, that type of thing, which is really good. And then you get something called score of all your playlists combined. So basically what they do and on Playlist Push is they look at the amount of listeners you get on each playlist and they combine it, right? So they look at it and say, well, you get a total of this many listeners. So you can see here, for example, the top score is 15 per review, but to have a score of 300,000 means you are literally going to get, thousands and tens of thousands maybe of streams per day in your playlist. And I'm nowhere near that level. I'm still near the bottom. I'm hoping to get to this mark. You get more money for more streams, but then it costs more money. And I'm about to talk to you about costs right now. It costs more money to promote the stream. So let's have a look at let's just go to the maximum figures here. So these are my playlists. You can see them all here. So basically, this is the first one, Slap House Mix. This is the one I've had going for a long time. And then you have the second one, the new pop one. You can see here that the cost per result is relatively low. It's consistently low for all of these playlists. And if you have a look at the amount spent over the last couple of years, you'll see here that I've spent, it looks like about 2,500, 3,000. It's considerably less than the amount of money I've earned. So that's a real great thing, right? Spent less than what you earn, you make money. It's numbers, it's maths. So overall, that's really good. And if we have a look at, say, let's have a look at yesterday, so more recent figures, they're really basically very similar numbers and very similar results. And I'm spending very little, like £3, £3, £4, £2, £2, £3. So overall, I'm spending about 15 to 16, I think that's 16 to 15 pounds a day. But I'm getting more than that in terms of money for reviews. So if you have a look once again at this, if we just have a look at the amount earned, if you have a look at that, and you compare it to this, you can see that there's more money being made. But if you add it with the money I've made from Playlist Push, it's just pure profit. And in addition to that, I'm also on Groover. I don't have time to do the reviews on Groover, so I've got a friend doing all of the reviews on Groover. So I'm not even sure if that's allowed, but I've got a friend doing all the reviews on Groover. So he gets 50% of the €1 per review. And to be honest, I'm getting quite a few submissions now on Groover, which is really good. But Groover only has one of my playlists. It doesn't have all of them. So I do need to do some work and get all of the playlists onto Groover. But then there are other platforms like Sound Campaign and Daily Playlists and a few others. I'm probably on about 10 different platforms, and those just don't make very much money. You might get one or two or whatever submissions a week, so they're not really worth the time, really. You can still do it. It just takes so long to actually review all of these songs because there's so many of them. And even on the Chicago City ones, if you have a look at the Curator view here, I have 35 reviews that I still need to do. They've just literally come in the last 2 days. So I'm literally doing between 20 and 30 reviews a day. What you can do with Submit Hub is you can create a team. So I do have someone helping me, and I do pay that person to help me do the reviews. So I have a team basically to just help me to do reviews, and it's still profitable. Let's go back to the original reason I did this in the first place and how you could do the same thing too. So if we have a look at the audience here, the music, and look at the playlists, you can see here that this is the last 28 days. You can see here with this particular artist, I've got 736 streams from this playlist. I didn't pay for those streams now. As far as I'm concerned, this playlist is free. The other playlist, this is my other playlist, it's helped 10 songs get streams. This is over a period of time when, I'll be honest, I wasn't paying for ads. So around December, I stopped paying for ads because December was just a quiet month. The playlists were still getting followers and getting streams, which is good. And this one here is also mine as well. And this is for just one of my artists. I've got a few artists. So for example, we have a look at Chicago City, look at the playlist for that. 736 again, that's the same number, and 486. So streams for different artists. Yeah, it's all good. So the whole point is now I don't really spend money anymore to promote my music. The reason why that's useful is because if you have a look, say, at Discover Weekly, you can see that I'm getting algorithmic streams. You can look at radio, I'm getting algorithmic streams. That's just one artist. This artist here is doing even better. It's almost 15,000 streams from radio, 1,200 from Discover Weekly. So, these aren't the greatest numbers in the world. They're not massive numbers, but I would never have got these numbers if I didn't promote my songs in my own playlists. I don't spend a ton of money promoting individual songs anymore. I have done it, but I don't spend a ton of money. It is basically being pushed through my own playlists and going into these algorithmic playlists and getting streams basically for free. So that's pretty much it. If you guys got any questions about this, I just wanted to explain my journey. A few people have asked what's happened to the playlists over time. I'll put links to the playlists in the description. So if you want to check them out, you can. But I'm even fascinated to go through my old videos and see what the journey was like. So yeah, I think it's really cool. And this is definitely a way to promote your songs without having to spend money. You're making money instead.